From stones to copper to bronze to iron. On this journey, I have carved out my path, seeking better and even better materials. Next, I am looking toward my final evolution. Welcome to the final part of TerraFirmaCraft, seeking the Sanctity of Steel. To obtain steel, I need to craft two things, those being a crucible and a blast furnace. In order to create these things, I need fire clay, which is made from standard clay and two important and very hard to find items, kaolinite and graphite. So I decided to start a journey to find kaolinite first. I wandered for one full uneventful week until I saw what looked like a saber-tooth hunting down a deer. And this made me stop and think. So I decided to read the book some more and picked up on some vital information. Climate. Oh, it's been there the whole time. This whole time. I could see. Kaolinite only generates in areas with an average temperature of at least 18 degrees and at least 300 millimeters of rainfall. I looked at the sun to figure out where I was going and realized I was heading east and west, so the temperatures weren't changing too much. At this point, I decided that I should head south instead. Considering how realistic this mod is, I figured that it would lead me to higher temperatures. So I started heading back to base to prep for the next leg of my journey. While heading back home, I found a cow. I decided to name him Jeff and lead him back with me. Jeff will do nothing for this playthrough, but I just think he's cool. You know what? I got a friend out of this. I'll think of a name for you. Thinking Jeff. We'll think about it. We'll workshop it. After making it back to base, I prepped myself and started heading south. On the way, I found a bear, and this time I still have the footage, so you can see my hit and run tactics that I used to take him down. That's a bear. Please no. Please no. You are the one that attempted to accost me. Witness my power. Witness it. Oh my god, no, never mind. Never mind. I'm gonna stalk you. Huzzah. Still chasing me? Still chasing me? Take that. And I know where you live. Where'd he go? Where is he? I said I know where he lives, and then I immediately lose where he lives. I'm running. I'm running. Haha. Defeated. Bested. Even though I missed like those last couple of strikes. But yeah, take that. GG. Yet another bear appeared to stop me. And this one surprised me. Is that another bear? How many times do I have to teach you this lesson? I attempted to lure it into the water for a cheesy kill, but this bear dove into the water at high speed and nearly took me out. See how fast you can swim. Oh my god! Never mind. Never mind. Never mind. Okay, they thought of that. They thought of that. I returned to find the bear trapped in some water, so I used the ultimate caveman strategy, throwing an unending storm of spears to secure victory. This strategy will return later at a crucial moment. After more wandering, the TerraFirmaCraft gods decided that bear attacks were getting a bit stale, so this time they threw a pack of hyenas at me. Oh my god, a pack of hyenas. No please. No please, no please. I ran them into the river and realized that animals swim in bursts rather than at a steady speed, so I took them down one by one, hunting them down to ensure they wouldn't attack me on my return trip. After the surprise of the hyenas, the game threw another curveball in the form of a tiger. This one scared me, so I bridged over to it and dug the ground underneath it to trap it in the ravine for an easier kill. But after I landed my first hit, I saw that this thing could climb up vertical walls. Did that thing just climb up? So my caution was warranted. I put logs in the way so it couldn't fully make its way back up the cliff and finished it off in complete safety. After winning multiple fights, the game decided that I could handle 2 encounters in one day, so it sent yet another bear to stop me. After more walking, this time nature's roadblock wasn't in the form of combat, but the landscape itself. There was a large ravine with a river that completely cuts off any standard way of moving. I would have to go down the cliff safely, cross the moving river, then climb back up. But then I realized I'm a human. My entire purpose in life is to spite nature. So I knocked down some trees and built a bridge. I know this is a small thing and very standard in Minecraft, but I wanted to stop and take a moment to appreciate the fact that we as humans could connect 2 entirely separate pieces of land. Well, with that mild tangent out of the way, we press on. After so much time spent wandering, I finally found blood lilies. However, they didn't have any kaolinite under them, which was ruining my motivation. What? No, this is the blood lily. Don't play with me. That's it. That's the flower. But After some perseverance, I found a blood lily that wasn't a lie, and had a bit of a celebration. Oh, 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 oh. Sorry, I had to let that out. I had to let that one out. Okay, so, after filling my pockets with the pink stuff, I made it back to base on day 127. I emptied my inventory and started preparing for another outing. Step 1 was complete, and now it was time for step 2, getting graphite. I went back out and for some reason thought that first journey that I wasted so much time on would hold the graphite I needed. Turns out that it did not. So I figured I might as well return to base and prepare again. I figured this time I'd just head back to the way that had kaolinite. It seemed like a profitable area despite the danger. While following my tracks back south towards the kaolinite, I stopped for a drink of water and then I heard a drowned. I figured some easy murder might make the trip feel a bit more fun, but then I saw a large cavern with a river flowing through it, and I had a good feeling about it. Like that time I found a bunch of copper in the flooded cave back in part 1. So I let the river carry me, searching around the walls and floor of the cave until eventually I found what I needed. At the bottom of the river, there was the graphite that I desperately searched for. What? There's no way. Please. I found it. I knew 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 it. Mining underwater was annoying, so I decided that I would collect some dry grass to try that old trick of using thatch while underwater to let you breathe. This was my second biggest mistake of this run. After emerging from the other side of the river, I was attacked by a crocodile who was lying in wait, and he got me closest to death that I've been since day 50. Ah! No! 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 No, not the crocodile, no! I have to fight this thing. I can't. This thing's fast! No. No. This thing's fast in water. No, please. The panic made my blood run cold. I did not want to die so far away from base and in an area devoid of beacons. Finding my loot would be hard. I couldn't run into the water because, according to the book and my knowledge in real life, crocodiles are most dangerous in water. So I parkoured my way up the mountain and planned my counterattack through the night. He's nocturnal, so I'd have to wait before catching him slipping. Once the sun reappeared, the crocodile went to sleep, and now was the time to strike. I gave him the rudest awakening in the form of the storm of unending spears. There we go. Yeah, take that, loser. Afterwards, I went back to getting the graphite I needed and then made my way back to base. Once I finally made it back to base, I started testing out the kaolinite. From what the book said, I just had to heat up the kaolinite and there was a 20% chance to get the kaolinite powder. But after 10 failed attempts, I decided to consult the internet to ensure I wasn't doing anything wrong, considering the math wasn't mathing. After a quick search, I saw that the best way to heat it up was in a vessel, and it turns out you need a metric You need a lot of kaolinite, like a serious amount. Honestly, I'm gonna stop and complain for a second. This is the one thing I would change about the mod. This process was genuinely too tedious. You needed way too much for this to be reasonable. There's moments of tedium that I can tolerate, but this was a bit too much. Okay, back to your regularly scheduled program. I journeyed out and grabbed more kaolinite, and on my way back, I detected an iron deposit, which would be crucial for me later on, so keep this spot in mind. Once I made it back to base, I got to work. I heated the kaolinite into powder and combined it with the graphite and clay and made 2 crucibles, one to hold the molten metal and one to turn into the blast furnace. On day 154, I finally managed to create the blast furnace, but I figured I should get more iron to prepare for the next step. I decided to head into my mine and grab some close to base iron, but with my minimal understanding of the support system of this mod, I caused a mild cave collapse. Uh-oh. In this moment, I could have turned around, but I decided to tempt fate, and almost got myself killed in that mine. I'm playing with fate. It's time to leave. That would have sucked, but unfortunately, this wasn't my gigantic mistake that I alluded to earlier. But that will be upon us soon, and sadly, I will have to relive that moment while compiling this for you. On day 156, I created the final piece to this puzzle, a 2-year. I made it using a double sheet. The book doesn't tell me that it's made using a double sheet, but I managed to figure that out, and hopefully that helps you out too if you get to this stage. On day 157, I made my first pig iron ingot, and then I worked it into my first steel ingot. We've done it. We've done it. We've got steel. We did it. Record time. Record time. At this point, I figured I'd reached my goal, but since I was only about halfway through my time allowed, I decided that the goal would be increased to getting a full set of steel armor and a set of steel tools. So it was time for more mining and more crafting. I went back to the area that I detected iron in and managed to find it rather easily. To refresh your memory, if you can detect ore from the surface, you only have to go down a max of 13 blocks. So I spent that time mining. After filling my inventory, I returned to base with all the iron I could hold and got to work creating more pig iron and more steel. During my industrialization process, I decided to make an iron grill for myself. With the grill, I'm able to cook 5 items at a time, saving myself both time and fuel. On the day of the funny number, I decided to stop and admire my giant stack of steel that I've smithed. I'll be using this stack to craft all of my items, or so I thought. This was the day of my greatest mistake. I left steel in the crucible to heat up as I worked on it, while smelting pig iron at the same time in the blast furnace. This was something I should not have done. The pig iron dripping into the crucible created enough heat to melt down the steel I had resting under its melting temperature. Since it was turned into liquid form along with the pig iron, it created an unknown alloy, which is TerraFirmaCraft for "You wasted metal and it's useless, you're a dummy dumbhead." No! I wasted multiple ingots of iron with this useless metal that I can't do anything with, and I can't just melt it down to iron, even though it's all still iron! I also rage quit for a second, and after a small break, I came back to the game and decided that this mistake wouldn't break me, and that since I was so close to the finish line that I'd buck up, shut up, and get back to work. After my humongous mistake costing me so much time and iron, I figured I needed some time away from the forge to cool off, pun intended. So I went to the mine like the dwarf that I am, hoping the rocks and stones would soothe my battered soul. I detected a different iron deposit and decided to mine there instead, since I cleared out most of the easy to reach iron in the other deposit. Afterwards, I made my way back to base, cleared out my mistake liquid from the crucible, and continued forging. While forging everything, I managed to get lucky and perfectly forged a shovel. Cool! Not super important, but a very neat achievement. Afterwards, I kept on working. Here we are, everyone. The final day. I'd like to take a moment to appreciate everything that I've been through. Each trial, each new discovery, each brush with death, each long journey. From stones to copper, to bronze, to iron, and now, finally, steel. We have a full set of steel armor and a full set of steel tools. With this, I'd like to conclude this adventure through TerraFirmaCraft. This mod has been one of my favorites for years, and I'm so happy to have been able to share it with all of you. And even more happy and thankful to everyone who made it through to both the end of this video and the first one. Please, have a nice day and let me know what you want to see next.